This is Dane Shoemaker with the Shoemaker Films podcast. I'm here today with Sami of Board and Brush. Sami, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
And I'm excited.
Yeah. We've been having a lot of fun recently interviewing local businesses in, greater Philadelphia area, but really mostly, Delaware County, mainline areas. So you're a member of Newtown Square Business Association, and so looking forward to getting to know a little bit more about you and the business here. It's awesome space.
Yeah. Super fun.
Yeah. So tell us about Board and Brush, Newtown Square. Tell about, how you came about to be the owner here. So
just the background of the studio or both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Board and Brush is a nationwide franchise. There's about 230 locations in the country. So I'm the sole owner of the Newtown Square location here.
Okay.
We do basically workshops where we walk customers step by step through the entire process of creating one of these signs that we have behind us. So all workshops are instructor led.
Okay.
And really anyone can do it. A lot of people will come in thinking that they can't, and I'm like, no, it's okay. I promise you can.
Nice.
It's super fun. We do distressing, sanding, staining. So it's less about the painting and more about kind of the prep of the wood and the woodworking that comes before
Right.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is there much power tools going on in here?
So customers can use the power tools. Usually they'll leave that up to us.
Okay.
But a lot of the plank signs do need to be put together during the workshop. Any of our build projects, I usually do that prior to the workshop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So tell us a little bit about what kind of events do you have? I mean, do you have packages or?
So not so much packages. Basically, people are paying for the instruction of the workshop.
Okay.
And the experience, and we provide you with all the materials that you need to create the sign.
Yeah.
In the workshop. So we host tons of different parties. Super popular with bachelorette parties.
Okay.
Kid parties. We have a smaller party package for that, where the signs are a little bit smaller.
Okay.
Team building, we have larger sign options and also the smaller sign options.
Okay.
And then really anything that you want to celebrate, we're ready to do it with you.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
When you have a group of people coming in, do they typically have an idea of what they want to make when they come in, or are they coming in here and finding
no
ideas? Yeah.
So everyone chooses on our website the project they're going to be making ahead of time. Our studio is reservation based. We don't do any walk-ins.
Yeah.
I have to be able to prep all of the stencils and the wood prior. So I do a lot of that prep during the week.
Okay.
We kind of get a gauge for what everyone's doing for the weekend. That way we can prep and they can think about their projects as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no one walking in off the street?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
It's better that way.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
So you guys, how long have you been the owner here?
So it was a year in the beginning of May. So.
Okay. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. So we're just. Yeah. About
it went
away.
fast,
yeah.
but.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, did you work here before, or what's your story?
So I actually started working part-time for Board and Brush. It'll be 7 years in September.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I was actually, I can't remember if I was a sophomore and junior or a junior in high school, but it started as a super part-time job for me at the Glen Mills location, actually.
Okay.
My best friend, her mom's best friend, is actually the owner at the time of that location, and I just she was sitting next to me at school, and she's like, my mom's friend needs employees, and she was like, do you think you could be reliable? I was like, well, I think so. I don't know. So yeah, I interviewed with her, I got the job, and kind of all went from there.
And then 7 years later, now you're owning.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So you own the franchise, right? The Newtown Square Board and Brush. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I kind of worked my way up through there.
Yeah.
Started as an assistant, so I just kind of had a table and I would help them out. Then I moved to an instructor where I was kind of on the mic, guiding the whole class through the steps. And then after I graduated high school in 2019, I got a job to manage this location.
Okay.
So I started doing that.
So you managed this location and then you took over ownership.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What made you decide to buy in and become an owner? I guess.
I don't know. I feel like I've just always loved it. It's always just like been an idea in my head. I don't know. I just love the outlet it gives to like be creative. I like how hands-on it is. I'm like never bored here. And yeah, it kind of just like felt right.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It's really more so that I just like loved doing it.
Yeah.
I've always just kind of had it in my head like I would love to own one, and it worked out that way.
That's great. I mean, it's kind of the dream of a lot of people to run your own business.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. It's stressful, but
I'm sure it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But I love it.
What are some of the challenges that you run into?
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like even just being like a young business owner, I kind of went from like, I wouldn't say no responsibility, but very little responsibility to like a lot of responsibility in finances, bills, honestly, just everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I've lived with my parents like my whole life. I went to college for a little bit, but I didn't go away for college.
Okay.
So to kind of like jump into like paying rent, paying electric.
Yeah.
All the bills that I have to pay to like actually own the franchise to the franchise.
Yeah.
Paying employees. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. Yeah.
It's a lot.
How many employees do you have?
I'd say right now I have maybe like 8 or 10 like super part-time employees. Most of them are in high school.
Okay.
I have a couple of girls that are like out of college, just do it as like a part-time job.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you do any of the instructing today, or it's mostly just
I do a lot of the instructing right now. Yeah. That's honestly my favorite part. I love connecting with the customers. I've always loved that.
Yeah.
Like getting to know them. And just like being here for workshops. It's a fun atmosphere.
Yeah.
And that was kind of something that I always told myself I didn't want to lose coming into like owning the business. I wanted to keep doing workshops, and being here for that. So yeah, I think I've done a good job at that. Sometimes I work a little bit too many, but it's going good.
Nice. So I guess as far as the, the franchise, like what's that like? I've talked to a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, people that manage the business, but they don't own it. What's a franchise ownership like?
I honestly love owning a franchise. I think that's been like the best part about being a business owner is being in a franchise. I have such like a team of like people that are doing the exact same thing as me. Yeah.
So
that
kind of like
I can network with, and just like compare ideas with. And yeah, it's been super nice. Obviously I have to pay into it monthly like at the beginning I had to as well.
Yeah.
But it's super nice. We have a team originated in Wisconsin. So we have a team in Heartland, Wisconsin.
Okay.
That does like all of our designs for us. So we get new releases of those every month. They provide a lot of our marketing material for us.
Yep.
And yeah, anything that we like really need help with, like they're like our corporate teams there. If they can't help us, there's usually another owner that can.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's like guidelines that I have to follow that are pretty strict with.
Right.
But nothing too crazy.
Yeah. What kind of support, other than the networking, are they doing like marketing help with you or?
So I do all of my own marketing, just mainly through social media.
Okay.
I post a lot on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
But like they make a lot of like Instagram reels for us.
Okay.
That we can use and post, and just like videos like that. They release stuff to us monthly. We can request something like a graphic post for Instagram, and they'll usually get it for us.
Yeah.
They work a lot with like suppliers to get us like the best deals.
Okay.
So there's like one big wood supplier that they work with down in, I believe, Atlanta, that they recommend that we get our wood from. We get a good deal from there. And then like Sherwin-Williams we work with for like our paint and
The
stuff.
paints. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So they kind of have it, it's like all laid out. So for
Pretty
someone
turnkey,
like me,
yeah.
for someone like me that's like super new to this world, I didn't come from like a family that like owned businesses.
Yeah.
It's been like super helpful. I have like a couple people that are other owners that I'll talk to. Yeah.
Nice.
Makes it a lot easier
Yeah,
that way.
it's kind of like a proven business model.
Yeah.
You have support. You know, it's just kind of turnkey, ready to go.
Exactly. And I can like event wise, like we'll host like some special events that are like our normal workshop is like our pick your project workshop, where you can come in and choose any sign. And just come in with like 2 friends. You can come in with 8 friends, however big of a group you want. You could even come by yourself.
Yeah.
But honestly, like getting new workshop ideas just to promote and get people in the studio. Other owners have been really helpful for that as well. Just getting new ideas.
Yeah.
Creative stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I feel like this would be a great spot for like you said, team building or bringing events. I mean, I see a lot of like alcohol related stuff.
Yeah.
Like, do you have happy hours here ever? Or like,
not so much happy hours with BYOB. So we welcome people to bring food, drinks whenever they're here.
Yeah.
There's not really any rules on that one. But yeah, not too much happy hour. Sometimes we'll offer like free wine. Like next week's National Wine Day. So
perfect.
We'll do like little promos like that, but not anything too crazy.
Okay.
Our typical workshop is usually like 6:30 to 9:30.
Okay.
So yeah.
So you said anywhere from like 2 to 8 people. Like, what's the biggest group you've ever had in here?
We can usually fit around like 36 people.
Oh, wow.
It honestly depends on the projects. I kind of have to keep an eye on that when the workshop starts really filling up. If there's like too many of the larger projects, kind of have to shut it down.
You lose out of surface space pretty quickly.
Yeah. So we can usually fit like 6 or 7 people per table. We have 6 tables, so there's room. We make it work.
Yeah. Nice. You mentioned, so I guess this wasn't really planned, per se. I mean, you said you went to college. Did you kind of going into college? Did you have an idea of like, I wanted to own a business someday?
Yeah,
or did you have
I did.
Other plans?
I went to college for business management when I was going. But I never really wanted to go to college.
Yeah.
I'd say since like maybe my senior year of high school, I knew I wanted to own a business.
Yeah.
This business in particular was like my dream, but I wasn't so sure how I was going to make that happen.
Yeah.
So I kind of just stuck with it. I was like comfortable managing it. I liked it. The idea of like going and getting another job was like not scary, but it just like didn't seem necessarily like worth it. So I just stuck with it, and it paid off.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned you're young. You're obviously a young business owner. Like, any challenges that come along with that you kind of been able to overcome, or? No,
I'd say the thing I was most worried for was like how like other people perceived me, like customer wise. But I haven't really ran into like anyone like kind of not belittling me, but in a way, no.
That's good.
It's been good in that sense. I feel like that's the thing I was most scared for.
Right.
And I feel like my employees, that's always like a big fear too, but they respect me. I have a good relationship with all of them. So.
That's great.
Yeah. They've been with me for a while and kind of have... I think they were the most excited for me when I told them that I was taking ownership. So
it's awesome.
Yeah, they've been with me for
People
a while.
Rooting for you.
Yep.
Yes. Cool. I mean, this is definitely like a really neat business. These are definitely like kind of popping up. This sort of sip and paint. What would you call this type of place?
Yeah, like a paint and sip.
Yeah. Yep. do you have anything coming down the pipeline, like anything new or anything you want to share?
Yeah. So we actually, January, I signed on to do Board and Brush Brought to You, which is our gives me the capability to do offsite events.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So for a while we were just doing in studio.
Yeah.
So I hope to take like a little bit of a deeper dive into that, and being able to do that because it is super exciting. Kind of it gives us the ability to host larger groups if I really needed to.
Okay.
And yeah, but it is only for commercial places, so we wouldn't go to like any residential places.
Okay, so businesses.
Yeah. I did one at Valley Forge Casino beginning of April, and then I did another one actually yesterday at a retirement community. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's been good.
Yeah, it's bringing the fun to.
Yeah, and it's not completely the same experience as like the in studio workshop. We never would be able to take this whole thing and
right.
place it in another place. But it gives the same idea, and then people can kind of get a feel for it and hopefully come back into the studio and get the full experience of a board and brush workshop.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So are you actively like reaching out to businesses then to do that?
I haven't as much as I want to.
Yeah.
But summer's slowed down a little bit for us, so that's my goal this summer is to kind of do that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day I can own another studio too. That's my end goal.
Is that the goal to have multiple studios?
Have another one.
Yeah. Nice.
But we'll see.
Yeah. Cool.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome.
If you have any other questions.
Yeah. Any advice to maybe young entrepreneurs or people thinking about opening a business? Any advice?
Honestly, I feel like my biggest strength in owning a business is just like the confidence that I have doing it. I feel like it's rare that I doubt myself. I try not to, as much as sometimes I'm here, I'm working long days and I'm like, this is really tough.
Yeah.
But I'm confident in my employees and their ability to do it. I'm confident in myself. If I'm understaffed and I can push through it, I know I can. So I feel like that's been my biggest strength is just not letting anything kind of get in my way and knowing that I can kind of push through.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So that for the most part, and yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a daily routine that you in here at any certain time or
no, I feel like that's my biggest downfall is there's very little structure in my life unless I have a workshop going on.
Yeah.
Which is nice. It creates a sense of freedom, but it's also sometimes I'm all right. I've thought about getting a part-time job just to add a little bit of structure back into my life, but then it's not worth it.
Yeah. So if you don't have any classes, you're not here usually?
It kind of depends. So I have a lot of prep work that I have to do.
Okay.
That, I don't know. I work best when I'm here. But honestly, marketing I can do from home. Customer communications I can do from home.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the prep work I have to come here to do. But besides that, if I don't have any prep work, I don't really need to be here unless there's a workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything else you want to share?
No, I don't know. I feel it's definitely, I don't know. I love it. It's if you haven't been to a board and brush workshop, you should definitely try it out. I love the way that it brings just the community together.
Yeah. It's definitely a fun activity. It's different than okay, let's go get let's go out to dinner or go to drink or go to a park. It's hey, let's do something constructive and kind of get some
and a
creative
lot
juices
of
going.
times, I'll set groups that don't know each other at the same table.
Oh, okay, nice.
And by the end of the workshop, they're besties, and you would never even know they didn't know each other before the class.
Yeah.
So we really focus on that and just the energetic fun side of the workshop, music, and the fact that you really don't need to be artistic to do it.
Yeah.
It's all done with stencils, so anyone can do it. It's actually I love like when people like come in thinking that they can't, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I did this!" Like I told you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So how can people get more information? How can they book an event?
Yeah. So if you go on our website, boardandbrush.com/Newtown Square, we have all of our design options there. We have our workshop calendar. So it shows all of our events for the month. You can inquire about a private party, and yeah, everything's on our website for the most part.
Cool. What's the website address again?
boardandbrush.com/Newtown Square.
Cool.
Yeah.
All
or
right.
our Instagram or our Facebook. We have super fun content on there too.
Cool. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Sami. Really appreciate the time.
Of course. Thank you.
Yeah.
Had fun.
Good. Thanks for listening today. Shoemaker Lab is an original production by Shoemaker Films, LLC. If you enjoyed today's content, please consider subscribing on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you get your content. Follow us on Instagram at shoemaker.films. And if you're a business that's either interested in our video production services or would like to be a guest on the show, get in touch by using the contact form on our website, shoemakerfilms.com.